Dude, they're in the woods spreading little kids' buttholes and drinking blood out of them, bro. I'm not even joking. I know that's vulgar, but it's the truth. And I came on this space to show everybody that my voice is clear, it's direct. I can answer any question. My mind is there. There's nothing wrong with me. I am tweeting all these things. I'm just letting everybody hear that this is my real voice and I'm saying these things.
Recently, Ryan Garcia, a world boxer, tweeted his testimony about the Bohemian Grove. His extract of Bohemian Grove has been on trend #1, but a few minutes later it was down to trend #6. Why can't you? What's covered? Is there any interference from the elite behind this? It invites a lot of questions. What happened to Ryan Garcia? What's the Bohemian Grove? Let's discuss the case of Ryan Garcia and his nightmare with the Bohemian Grove. Ryan Garcia is known for being active on social media, but his behavior has been suspicious since early 2024, when he suddenly announced his divorce from his wife after announcing the birth of his second child an hour earlier. This oddity of Ryan Garcia continues until March 6, 2024, when Ryan suddenly talks about Bohemian Grove with Andrew Tate on SpaceX.
You're going to have to come along and explain from the absolute beginning exactly how it happened, who was involved, how you got there, what car you were in, where you were standing, everything.
Of course they're going to want that, and I have all the information possible.
Which is the root of this controversial issue of Bohemian Grove.
To us.
Bro, I don't give a bro. They held me down and they made me watch little kids get raped. I don't give a anymore.
Where?
Bro, they took me to the woods, bro, and they tied. I'm not joking, bro. I have proof, bro. I don't give a bro. I will show you every video you could ever believe. Bohemian Grove is real. They tied me down and they made me watch, dog. I absolutely don't give a anymore.
Surprisingly, Ryan Garcia revealed facts about the Bohemian Grove on SpaceX with Andrew Tate.
Boys, little kids, little girls, they're literally feasting over their bodies. I literally know they're doing this. They literally have plates and they're eating little kids.
He's a 25-year-old boxer who must have had a lot of courage. But here we can hear how he sounds scared when he explains it. Why not? He was tied up and forced to see how little children were harassed. How stupid is this? So what exactly is this Bohemian Grove? It's actually a 2x700-acre forest in the Monterey district of California, about 75 miles north of San Francisco, and the Bohemian Grove is the venue of a club called the Bohemian Club that was founded in San Francisco in 1872. This Bohemian Grove was founded by an actor, writer, and insect researcher named Harry Edwards, and all of these members of the Bohemian Grove are men with backgrounds like artists, writers, actors, lawyers, and journalists who have a common interest in art and culture. Bohemian also depicts a free and unconventional lifestyle, but remains within the scope of an intellectual urban and not a lowly type that has the purpose of escaping the border culture or the unscrupulous interests of ordinary people. The Bohemian Club has a motto that quotes from William Shakespeare, "Weaving dealing spiders come not here." When they're gathering, they can't talk about business. This Bohemian elite club is then spreading to politicians as well as rich people or conglomerates. The longer it turns out that the members of this Bohemian Grove are becoming more and more, it's not a joke that this Bohemian Club finally bought a building that became its headquarters in the early 1930s on 624 Taylor Street in downtown San Francisco. Since its inception, the Bohemian Club has had 15 members on its board of directors. They had their respective duties in the Bohemian Club, so the Grove Committee was formed in the 1900s when they purchased land that had been a place to camp since 1880. The Grove Committee has the task of maintaining many buildings, including a building that is used as a gathering place for members as the membership of the Bohemian Club continues to increase. After a century, this Bohemian Grove is estimated to have about 500 male members, including former presidents of the United States, high-ranking politicians, military officials, bankers, and big businessmen. Here are the names of members of the Bohemian Grove who have a high background or status: George Bush Jr., former President of the United States, Ronald Reagan, Henry Kissinger, Richard Nixon, Dick Cheney, David Rockefeller, Tom Johnson, CNN President and former publisher of the LA Times, and many other white members who have extraordinary status. It turns out this Bohemian Club already has a list of candidates whose list is very long, even of the artists, even many who want to join. Just imagine that on his VIP waiting list, there are about 1,500,000 people, and they're willing to spend $2,500 just for the registration fee and $600 for the annual allowance. Why is that so? It turns out it's not easy to join this Bohemian Grove. Candidate members must be loyal and have a supportive background, and the main requirement is that the candidate member be nominated by 2 permanent members of the Bohemian Grove who have been dedicated for 40 years in order to be a guarantee that his prospective members can also be trusted, like the Bush family, who has been a member for 3 generations and has become one of the respected families in this Bohemian Grove. Not only through the proposal of a permanent member of the Bohemian Grove, but every candidate member will fill in a form of background and personal data in which they will also have to write 5 recommended names. The 11 members of the committee will run a vote to determine the quality of their candidate members. If they get a negative comment, then they will fail. With the success of the Bohemian Grove, it's impossible if they don't have employees to help. Known from a former employee of Bohemian Grove, they employed an admin and also a chef. In its recruitment, there is one that has the same system: recommendation from a long-time employee. When willing to work, you must also be willing to abide by the rules and meet such conditions as employees must live in tents near the camp, they must sign the NDA, the employment contract contains an agreement not to say anything later seen, heard, or felt. If the contract is completed, they must leave the city immediately. The work lasted for 1 month with a very high salary. Have you ever imagined that if there was a club that had members of the elite united, there would be no possibility that they would take advantage of the opportunity to gather together to cooperate? It turns out this happened exactly in 1942 when the Manhattan Project was planned in the Bohemian Grove between Ernest Lawrence, J. Robert Oppenheimer, and a few others who were also members of the Bohemian Club. Those who have the same mission and vision to create a new world order where this big project aims to create an atomic bomb that will destroy human beings who have filled the earth, and the rest will follow the rules and desires of their elite to live an orderly life. The Bohemian Grove itself has a symbol or totem that is from the owl. Many sources say that the symbol is identical to the journalist in the United States and symbolizes wisdom. This logo, it's same with Drake brand. The owl in the Bohemian Grove also has the name Moloch. This Moloch is built 12 meters high of cement concrete in the middle of the campsite that the members of the Bohemian Grove use for 2 weeks each year. This campsite is a base camp of the Bohemian Club located in the Redwood Forest, Sonoma County, California, with an area of 100 hectares. In this 2-week campsite, there are many activities such as music concerts, theater performances, lakeside talks or informal lectures, parties, and relaxing oil on government policy. It sounds like a normal activity, doesn't it? But on the Saturday before dinner, the members will perform a secret ritual called cremation of care. Followed by 500 people. We need to know that this statue of a ghost bird named Moloch is exactly the same as the gods worshipped by the Ammonites. True to the Bohemian Grove, Moloch himself is regarded as the god or entity they worship when performing rituals. There are many rituals in Bohemian Grove, but what Ryan emphasizes in some of his comments on X is about children. In the same case of children presented by Bohemian Grove, There's news of a little boy named Kevin Andrew Collins being kidnapped and killed by a few people named Michael Aquino, George H.W. Bush, Robert Byrd, and some other powerful people. In America alone, the number of children missing every year is quite high. It's a conspiracy. Why are there so many missing children?
3 fast facts, and I got a paper here because everybody likes facts. They want papers, right? Everybody wants the proof? Okay. Well, let's go into, this is surface level proof. The first fact, with human trafficking, including sex trafficking, the global industry of human trafficking, including child sex trafficking, is estimated to be worth $150 billion annually.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
150 billion annually. Do you understand what that means? Number 2, globally, the International Labor Organization estimates that 1.2 million children are trafficked each year. 1.2 million children are trafficked each year around the whole world. The US, in particular, where we live, where I live, the US is the #1 nation in the world for consuming child sex material.
If we understand how these Molochs perform rituals to worship their gods, then you will understand why this Bohemian Grove involves children in its rituals. Yeah, they use children as a tool of sacrifice. It's crazy and unimaginable. They grabbed, harassed, and killed children as sacrifices. We don't know the details of what kind of ritual hurt the kids, but from what Ryan said, it sounds terrible. What do you guys think? If you think what Ryan Garcia is saying is bullshit, this is strong evidence from a radio broadcaster and conspiracy expert named Alex Jones and his cameraman Mike Hansen, who documented the activity of this Bohemian Grove. Alex Jones and Mike Hansen can be called spies, and they were the first people to succeed in uncovering the activities of the Bohemian Grove clearly and in detail. We know for ourselves how difficult it is to join this elite club of bohemians because of the conditions we talked about before, and by that time, the list of candidates for membership had reached thousands, so the waiting list could be 33 years. Alex Jones and Mike Hansen themselves came in and spied in the way of infiltration.
They need to fill this pond up.
The opportunity was not wasted. They carefully prepared the documentation tool hidden in their pockets. One of the shocking documentary results was the cremation of care ceremony uploaded on July 15th, 2000, lasting 2 hours. Yeah, this is a secret ritual that we talked about before.
The owl is in his leafy temple. Let all within the grove be reverent before him. Lift up your heads, O ye trees, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting spires. For behold, here is Bohemian shrine, and holy are the pillars of this house.
In this video, we can see the place surrounded by fire and a lot of people wearing clothes listening to the speech. Then a group of these people seemed to be carrying a human-shaped coffin, but what they were carrying was actually a human, more precisely a child to be sacrificed in the ritual.
After escaping the sheriff's department, Mike and I traveled high into the hills to wait until dark and the beginning of the cremation of care ceremony. Before the cremation of care, all the Bohemian Club members begin a massive feast of revelry.
He's so pissed off at me.
After the feast, cult members travel from the main dining area under the trees out to the eastern side of the lake, where they congregate and prepare themselves to properly thank their deity. Again, the 3,000-plus-year-old Moloch. Now, even more shocking is the figure of a human body burning in the flames. In fact, I've shown it to people that are experts in anatomy, to actual doctors, and they say that the anatomical size is that of a baby or small child. Notice how large the cranium is in comparison to the torso, that is the ribs. At long last, here it is, the cremation of care unveiled.
Oh, yeah. The owl is in his leafy temple. Let all within the grove be reverent before him. Lift up your heads, O ye trees, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting spires. For behold, here is Bohemian shrine, and holy are the pillars of this house.
Smiling, she will rise and give to you her kiss. So must ye come as children. Little children that believe nor ever doubt her beauty and her faith, nor deem her tenderness can change or die.
Then they're like singing a song that sounds like a funeral song. Then the people brought the hose and burned the coffins that contained the so-called little boy. The cruelty doesn't get there. When the child in the chest is in pain, turns out 1,500,000 people there can hear clearly because there are speakers mounted around the place specifically to listen to the cry of pain. The essence of following the cremation of care ritual itself is to remove concerns such as sadness, concern, disappointment, and feelings from its members. That's crazy. What do you think of this? Does it make you crazy? Ryan Garcia's bizarre behavior began in early 2024, precisely after his divorce from his wife, Andrea Selena, on January 7th. Somebody thinks if you're having a mental disorder, you'll even be accusing Ryan Garcia of taking illegal drugs. Until March 5th, 2024, when Ryan revealed a controversial story about Bohemian Grove. Ryan Garcia's ex-wife suddenly posted her Instagram story about her concern for Ryan and asked his followers to help pray for him. After panicking on social media, Ryan Garcia suddenly made a clarification video that he couldn't log in to Instagram.
Hey guys, it's me, Ryan. I'm coming on here to explain what's going on. I'm not in possession of my phone. I can't get access to my Instagram. My cards are locked. And I'm just being real, I'm being real taken advantage. I personally wanted just to send out a video to the people that love me and my fans and family that's concerned that I'm okay. I'm not dead. I believe in Jesus. All those are lies. And, they try to put me in jail. They're blocking my cards. I can't access my money. Nobody's hitting me back. I don't know what's going on, but just know I'm okay. Look.
His card was locked and his cards were blocked, so he could not get his money. The core of Ryan's clarification video just wanted to convey that he's fine and alive. Through his talk up about Bohemian Grove, it makes the audience feel that Ryan is looking for sensation, but there are also those who believe his story, like Jimmylevy. He is a famous musician from the American Idol who shares his experience also related to Satan. Ryan is not lying. I have been in the music industry for over 10 years. A lot of these people worship the devil and do satanic rituals on children. When I started exposing the industry for what it was, everyone in the industry turned against me and mocked me and even threatened my life. I received multi-million-dollar contracts that I turned down because I was asked not to speak about God or the truth. In the end, God allowed me to have multiple #1 Billboard charting records, speaking the truth without any deals, only the Holy Spirit. Realizing that the devil was real made me turn to Jesus even though I was born Jewish. Giving my life to God was the best decision I've ever made. I stand with Ryan and I pray a hedge of protection over him as he exposes the darkness in Jesus' name. What do you think? Do you think Ryan's just looking for sensation? Or do you trust Ryan's testimony? Back to Ryan Garcia through his commentary on the X about the traumatic experience he experienced when he was 2 years old, being harassed and tortured by the Bohemian Grove. It became relevant because Richard Nixon, the 37th President of the United States, was able to say that the average rich people in San Francisco were famous for sexual abuse, especially when Richard Nixon came several times to the Bohemian Grove and got the impression that the place was the most filthy place associated with the same sex abuse that was ever committed to underage children. Richard Nixon himself didn't want to have sex with people in San Francisco. Is it really so terrible there? We can imagine how the Bohemian Grove, which had elite members and all men, abused other boys underage. This is why Ryan is fighting to save children so they don't become victims or even feel what he once felt when he was a kid. So is Ryan Garcia really just looking for sensation because, in fact, in April he's going to compete against Devin Haney and this is one of his steps to get a lot of audience attention? Or is Ryan Garcia really trapped in the Bohemian Grove? So he talks up on social media about this fact, but the elite with his powers is trying to cover it up. What do you think of today's topic? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Wait for our other mind-blowing videos.